Welcome to another edition of XFeed. Today's show, we're going to be talking a lot about Yuga, the Gaming Council debacle that's happened. It's all over the timeline. If you haven't seen it, well, you just don't follow that many Yuga Council individuals. We are going to go over just general sentiment around things, news happenings, and how a bunch of people that are launching NFTs have made an absolute bag and will continue to do so. It might be a viable career path as I try to look and see. Maybe is this sure okay? Yeah, I think we're okay. Anyway, if this is your first time watching, what's up? My name is The Schiller. We've been covering NFTs, Web3, and all that kind of stuff since the glory days of Top Shot, which if you missed yesterday, we went over some of the insanity that it was in terms of volume, et cetera, et cetera. But the title of this video, you might say, okay, Shell, you're the guy yapping. You're the guy yapping on the timeline saying NFTs, wag me, things are great. Why aren't you paying attention to NFTs? And I think this goes to my argument of saying, hey, when you look at these, you're going to have kind of two different genres, if you will. One that's specifically art focused. There's no extra utility. It is what it is. Think about your squiggles, think about your crypto punks, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have the ones that create some sort of yield, typically within a crypto token. Now, over the years, my kind of viewpoint on this has been, okay, well, everybody has seen certain coins go absolutely crazy. NFTs also have that, but I feel like it's a much smaller percentage of that actually happening, where for some of these tokens, if you end up getting early on the ground floor, potentially even free, and they do really well, then holy smokers, it's kind of insane what can happen with that. And obviously, as we see certain markets do well, people look at whatever they're holding and have this big reflection of, oh my God, is this the right thing to get into? Prime example, the PUDGY Penguin movement, right? Everybody's like, oh, I could have bought a PUDGY Penguin before. If I would have sold my entire portfolio and bought in one, I would have done better than just holding everything that I've bought, right? So the show, there's a perspective of watching other things do well, and it's a little bit different when it's the singular NFT collection versus the entire crypto market, where you see multiple different tokens do 2, 3, 5, 10x, et cetera, and things really start changing out here. And oh my goodness, Amanda coming through on a hot 36 months. GM. Yo, Sinewy, what's up, pal? How are you? How did Pudgy Penguins get to 50 ETH? Is that real? They're at 50 ETH. Sure. I don't think they're at 50 ETH. They might be like 50K or more. But in terms of like what they've done, and we highlighted this on the stream like last Friday. So if you check out, like, I think it was the February 9th stream. Again, I'm thinking about breaking down that stream in an individual video because it was highlighting what all of these big brands are doing wrong. And the TLDR of it is, if you go to the different websites, if you go to Doodles, if you go to, Pudgy Penguins was okay. If you go to the Yuga one, et cetera, we're supposed to be like, okay, like, why would this be amazing, right? And from like an outsider point of view, checking in for the first time on these sites, they don't really give you good information, like, at all. They kind of touch on certain things that they offer per se, but it's nothing to the in-depth of like realizing, hey, there's these token drops, there's these collabs, you can do this, that on every kind of system that's out there. And I think that that's one thing that really needs to change. However, when you look at Pudgies, they break down, hey, we have this kind of like Web3 world game that's coming out. We have the toys themselves, but then also there was an airdrop the other day that they got, and so there was a fair amount of liquidity that ended up rolling into their ecosystem. If you guys are liking the stream so far, of course, give me a thumbs up and we will get going here. So today there was this announcement. I don't know if it's like official. I haven't seen it on any of the official channels, but I saw a couple of the women of Yuga Labs, or the some of the holders, post this thing saying Yuga Labs Gaming Council. So if you're not familiar, there has been an absolute debacle with the Yuga Labs Gaming Council. I'm a part of it. I haven't talked about it like at all outside of the stream because they were basically like, hey, we're going to rotate people in and out. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. I'm kind of potentially here for a short time. I don't want to go around bragging, oh, I'm a part of this big, huge thing. And the backlash from it, not particularly this one. There is that we'll get to in a second. But when the initial council came out, everybody was like, do these guys even game? Who the hell are they? They just ended up picking people that had like bigger followings. And then, you know, you kind of are thinking about it like, okay, like, is this a marketing tactic to make people feel special? Is there going to end up being more to it? And then for the Legends of Mara mint comes out, and people were like rushing and saying, oh, they didn't include the council. They didn't do this, yada, 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 yada. So TLDR, now there's a council of about like 60 people, I guess, unless this is supposed to hint at this is like the second round of people coming in. And I'm like, this leads like absolutely no room for Yuga to screw up anything, because it's like, oh, these, and again, this is all like a volunteer thing. People aren't getting paid for this, but the backlash from different individuals, and we'll go into this in a second, and even including this, the same thing that was mentioned during the first one is here again with this. Oh, how many of these ladies are actually gamers? What's the point of this? And it's just people yapping at each other and pissed off. And it's I honestly am curious if we see kind of a fallout in terms of other collections that are thinking about going down this path, seeing all the negativity regarding it, and just saying, it's not worth it. So Chetty here making a post saying, I'm in a group chat with 5 people, myself included, who control the most Yuga gaming assets by far. None of us have been selected for the gaming council. If not us, who TF was invited? Again, then I guess a day later, they said, hey, we got reached out by Yuga. Now we're a part of the council. So a bunch of people are just getting added from saying anything. And then Tiger is adding in here some context to the Yuga Labs Gaming Council because people are genuinely curious. Yuga partnered with Faraway GG to help build a creator economy and reward artists and curators. Design, own, trade, and game skins. I'm estimating 50 to 60 people have been onboarded to the Gaming Council so far in phases as voluntary beta testers, designers, streamers, thread writers, etc. This tactic has already encouraged network growth, self-organized team building, and referrals for the next council group. I mean, I haven't seen like a whole lot of the extra stuff that's been a part of there. I feel like most people did kind of like content or like can be beta testers. I don't really remember many people that were designers. I mean, thread writers kind of go in there, obviously streamers, hello. But we continue down here, and this is one of the people that were part of the top Yuga holding assets. This one's written kind of interesting. Today, Chetty Gaius 917 and I were invited to the Gaming Council after many days and many people asking why we hadn't been invited, especially considering our investment and support for Yuga Labs since the beginning. I can only say that I've been supporting Yuga since Ape vs. Mutant, where I reached the second position worldwide, not to mention my achievements in Dookie Dash. After all I've done in heavy metal, including all the investment and logistics to play with 800 heavy metals and achieve 200 legendary amps, securing 2 spots in the top 10. If all this wasn't enough to be chosen from the start, and if Yuga Labs Gaming wasn't aware of everything I've achieved for a long time, then they're really not doing their job well. So again, just FUD. This is what it creates. So you have the top holder that's like, I'm pissed off because I'm the top holder and I wasn't invited to this thing. And so you have the potential they're just going to floor everything and get out. I guess they ended up getting added to that, but obviously, like, you know, you kind of they have to let you know their disdain of not getting chosen instantly, and then said, okay, well, I've accepted the position, right? And it runs into this problem of, okay, you have your biggest holders that are now a part of this. Are you going to get yelled at over things? Is this going to be a good change? Are they going to able to be implementing any of the changes that are suggested? But again, upwards of 60 people now. Yuga cannot screw this up at all. Okay, this is funny because this relates to the exact same thing we went over about gaming councils and these other things. And yo, Sinewy coming through with a fatty 19 months. My man, thank you. Thank you.
NFTs are back.
Thank you. Truly. So this is Zentivist, who is really big within the Pixel Vault ecosystem, and this Barat guy said this might be the first time I've seen a 30% allocated to the community regarding a token, right? People, we always try to remember and highlight different tokenomics as we're seeing different collections choosing a different route on how much their dispersal is going to be. And Barat was one of the advisors that was chosen for the reboot protocol, which again goes back to the notion that some people said was, oh, you're picking all these top people that have these large followings. Is it actually an advisor role? Or are you just hoping that they're going to market to you? And Zentif is highlighting that, bro, you're a reboot GG advisor, and they gave 42% to the community as they're tweeting out saying for some other collection that there's only been 30%. So again, people are getting these roles just because of followings, not because of merits. They're not paying attention to what they're saying. It's engagement farming city. They're pumping their bags. The space is in shambles. and crypto's going to pop off. And some of these NFTs are going to be left in the absolute dust. Some of them are going to do amazing. And this is why I go back to is there some kind of a token involved? Is there something that's a little bit more? Is there sustainability? Because people are going to get absolutely wrecked. And we're seeing a lot of people just kind of like show their true colors too when their understanding of things and their forgetfulness. This kind of thing you can brush off as like a faux pas, whatever. But I think it's absolutely unreal. And listen, hold on. I got to go big screen here. You thought I was done with the FUD, baby. No, the episode we're going in hard, brother. Yo, Dip Collector. Good morning, sir. I apologize. I need to acknowledge when people come into the chat. And if you guys are watching, make sure to let me know and we can chit chat about whatever because I love going back and forth here. But yeah, Pudgy Penguin floor is 19, not 50. Huddle Hill, what's up? You are wonderful. Okay, what's not wonderful is just this is maybe the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, like respectfully. So this Cali person says, super stoked to join the Yuga Labs team as the creative director of marketing and partnerships. It gets 21,000 views, 241 likes, a whole bunch of people engaging with it and retweeting. And they say, this was a copy pasta, and I added a note to the alt text, and I didn't think it would get much traction, but I did apply. I am manifesting it, and the show of support from everyone reaffirms my conviction that this role is meant for me. Oh my God. Guys, what is going on with people that are like within this space? This is egregious. So you post, you say that you got hired for something, it's fake. Everybody believes you. You might have an opportunity, or sorry, I shouldn't say opportunity. You might have gotten the attention of somebody that's not aware of certain things, right? From the team, they comment saying, oh, congratulations. Because I mean, again, companies are massive. You don't know. And then they're like looking like an idiot because that person wasn't hired. Don't ever do that. If I was a hiring manager, which I'm not, we do XFeed and we keep within our lane. We keep within the Shillerverse lane. You know what I mean? But I would throw that resume out. That is the most egregious thing I've ever seen. Why? I've sold my mega coda today. Some tears, no. More relief. Was it the most beautiful one? No, but I'm ugly too. Next move, first some dance moves. Goodbye, my friend. I hope I'll see you on the other side soon. So interesting here. I feel like we've not seen some like mega coda sales, $200,000. What an absolute come up, excluding the other side gasments and whatnot, that they still made an absolute bag. That was an absolute bag. So again, still kind of cool. I think codas do have a really unique look. I know a lot of people have kind of harped on the look of BAYC and the expansion, I guess, of like getting that IP beyond. However, we have seen a lot of people also saying, hey, kids just like it. It's whatever. You know what I mean? It's insane. Yo, what's up, Dan? How are you? Yeah, so Huddle Hill, that and the fake giveaways, it just doesn't make any sense. And then there's this where I guess it's like a kind of a fuzzy picture of what the other side is supposed to be. So kind of, I don't know. I think that looks decent, right? Like, we'll see what ends up happening for that. If you guys are wanting a free hat, you can join the Drug Receipts Discord and get rocking with that. And speaking of rocking and rolling, the Randinator, the Dirty Burger, he's back. Ray Stinger for 23 months. My man, thank you so much. So just with this again, I saw this on my timeline. I thought, hey, maybe you guys are interested in that. So snag a free Drug Receipt Kill Hall Team Halloween snapback when you become part of the DRX Farmilia. Simply join our Discord, reshare this post, and tag 3 friends. We'll send you a hat. So again, if you guys are wanting to do that, it's just at Drug Receipts, and then there you go. No, like NFTs, I think they are pointless and basically a flex item. So I think, depending on like how much you're wanting to like go in depth on that conversation, I think that there's a problem with the conception of NFTs where everything is based on that flex item or the rarer, that's not the right term, the limited availability of them, I guess. But sorry, let me go back to my point. The idea, I think, is that within time, the ownership of things, right? Like if you were going to give me like a pack of physical cards, and I know this is like always the example always used, or something that I can just hold digitally that I can trade and play with in my games because I do these online games, I would just take those online ones because it's easier. Now we can kind of keep going down this track and say, okay, the more time that we spend every day online, the more of these opportunities for different games, experiences, and whatnot are going to be pushed in the digital realm. And another component of it is, you know, when we care about what we wear, right? So like, for example, where I mean, I don't know if you've checked in like my other streams, but I've tried to really up my look per se, right? And so I care about what I look like because I'm like, okay, I'm going on my stream. I need to, not look like a bag of dirt for you guys. And, when you go out in public, when you go to a party, you probably have the same thing. Whether you go to school, whether you go to a specific event, you're going to want to look a certain way. And as we move into this digital life, it's going to be the same thing where you're going to care about how you look digitally, right? And if anybody's played World of Warcraft, RuneScape, etc., you've probably seen, oh, these people have this great armor. That's cool. Obviously it's different, but I think that the way the world is working, people are going to care about how they look digitally and just the way the blockchain is interacting with it. That's going to be a thing. And no, I don't think it's basically trading cards. I think that's just like as an example of, how much do we have in our lives where we're able to store all these items, and do we value something that's digital as much as it is physical? And the ease of transfer kind of amongst that. But happy to discuss further for sure, Dan. I appreciate you coming by nonetheless. Okay, so one of the older collection here is Bulls on the Block. Now, if you don't remember, this was they had something where the artist created this collection, and then he came out and said that him and his manager were two people. Sometimes in the Discord, it was a different person that wasn't him that was talking about it. I don't know exactly what was going on, but this is, to the Dan's point earlier, where it's just kind of like these images and whatnot. That's what Bulls on the Block was initially. Now, they've continued to do things. If we go look on their site, I'm curious if they can end up impressing us here. With the original Bulls on the Block, Bullish on the Block, they have a comic, the Discord, they have OG Bulls, Bears, they have evolved art, and that's it. This is what I mean. Like, okay, so is this just based off of art and there's nothing else going on? You check out these websites, if they're tweeting, if they're active, if you can end up using these avatars within the games, like, okay, you get it, right? But why the hell is the first impression on these looks like nothing? There's nothing going on here. And so I want to go back and I really want to make this piece talking about all these websites. They do these things, but like, does that make you want to buy that? Absolutely not. They don't even give you a single reason to. They really need to do such a thing. But here, I'm going to let the watch turn and twist. Guys, what do you think? This is Doodle's exclusive watch with G-Shock. I kind of fudded it because I was like, this feels like super basic. I think it looks all right. The flower thing on the side, again, like it kind of doodly, but I thought that it would be a lot more, I don't know, stylized. I think NFT came too early. You make a good point about caring what someone looks like digitally, but this kind of came to where I agree massively. I think one of the biggest problems, and we saw it where Pepsi came out and they launched these like avatars of like a microphone with a Pepsi logo on it, and people were paying a bunch of money, and you had like the official Budweiser account that went out and bought beer.eth and tried to hype out these things, and it was like there was no substance to it. And so there's this big bad connotation with it because people are selling these things, but then there's nothing to actually do with them, which, if there is, which some games do have, then I mean, like it's going to change. But until we get that, until it's more widely recognized, yeah, I mean, it's going to be Fud City. Doodle's merch is overpriced. Well, I mean, generally speaking, all NFT merch is overpriced. So this is an interesting thought, and I wanted to mention this for a particular reason, but last cycle, Axie Infinity, a Ponzi scheme for Filipinos, went up approximately 1,800x. It was extremely liquid at the top, trading over $1 billion a day. Looking for those is time well spent. So TLDR, for anybody that's not familiar with how this worked, is Axie Infinity was one of the Web3 games that really took off. You might be familiar with Top Shot when it went nuts, obviously Bored Apes when all the celebrities were into this, but in like the depths of people that were actually grinding out to earn different tokens, Axie Infinity was a huge component of that. It was something where people were like, this is going to be the future. This is a way for people, in third world countries to be able to make more money from doing average jobs because the demand for this game was there. Okay. And this was like actually a thing. I made a post yesterday. Oh my God. My TikTok at Schillerverse. Be sure to follow if you guys are wanting to see some shorts and some crazy comments. Is I highlighted an AI art generated sale. It was the Botto sale the other day, and it went for like 95K. Ridiculous, right? We're all like, what in the hell is going on? And so somebody like responded to that saying that's like a wash sale, like 100%, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay, so you kind of spin the barrel a little bit more, and you're like, all right, how many of these things are actually wash sales within the NFT space? Now, I know people that have bought, NFTs for a decent bit. You're probably somebody that's bought in some, and so when people make those comments, you're like, okay, for maybe this one sale that's egregious, for the average person, you sold a Jenny for 94K. No, I don't. Are you talking about the Cyberkong Genesis? I don't think it was that much. If it was, holy heck, but I don't remember. Anyway, but the point being is that there still is like legitimate traction for certain things, not maybe that one particularly, but there is. And so Axie Infinity again had this massive market share. But the concept with this that I'm wanting to highlight is it doesn't matter if you and I are like, oh, this game is stupid. It doesn't, because as long as there's like an audience out there that's willing to play that wants to partake in it, our opinions are completely irrelevant. I saw a post the other day where somebody's like, opinions don't matter, price action does. So as much as we have our different opinions on things, pay attention to really what does well and see if you can figure out exactly why. And if it's, hey, like an entire country is really getting all behind that, then it's like, okay, now we kind of roll the dice and see what we want to do, but always try to look for that rationale of like, why is this popular? Is it actually a Ponzi? Is there anything sustainable about it? Et cetera, et cetera. Okay, news coming out from Ledger and Coinbase. They're partnering to enable users to receive crypto purchases and transfers directly on their wallets. That's kind of cool. Another kind of just quality of life. Don't really think that's that big of a deal otherwise. Did you know if you're a remote worker, you are 35% more likely to be fired than those who return to office? I mean, I don't know how many of you guys work from home still. Probably a fair bit of you. But does knowing that you're 35% more likely to be fired make you be like, maybe we should go into the office today, baby. Maybe we should go into the office today. Okay. Everybody's got opinions about things, and we always look to these bigger accounts to have an opinion. And I think that there is a lot of collections that never get brought up. There's a lot of collections that get brought up a whole bunch of, and then there's other ones that people have heard of that they're like, oh, I didn't think much of that, but then it becomes massive. So anyway, Alex Becker here highlighting Mavia's gains for these new tokens. Apparently VC investing as an NFT holder is a huge thing that's starting to come up. I don't know why, but I guess it is. Anyway, so they're highlighting Gunzilla, Bloodloop, Pixelmon, Chronoforge, Monad, Rumblekongs, Treeverse, My Pet Hooligan. So if I'm going down this list, I never really got into Pixelmon. I remember that story. And these two I don't really remember. Rumblekongs was a game that was designing a basketball game kind of around the same time as NBA Top Shot. Also, Where the Hell is the Top Shot game? KEKW. Treeverse is one that is building a, I guess, Zelda-ish type game. That looks very interesting. They've done land sales, they've done avatar sales, all that kind of stuff. They're getting close to being able to fully launch. And My Pet Hooligan is kind of building like a Fortnite-esque game that's done within their world, where it's kind of, I don't know if it's like paintball guns, FPS shooter type deal, but it looks interesting. So I can't really talk about the top ones, but regarding the ones that I do know, it's interesting that these ones have been out for several years. And now we're getting to a point where their games are actually coming out. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we keep seeing these new collections say, hey, we're building a game. It's going to be great. And if the game isn't there and you don't have like viable proof that it is without gameplay, actual gameplay trailers, et cetera, we saw with Valhalla where they had this hyped up trailer. They ended up pivoting from the entire thing that they wanted to do. It wasn't a game. It was a streaming platform, but went elsewhere. You got to be careful. You got to be careful out there. But again, these ones have been working for quite some time. These ones, I think, a little bit newer, at least in Pixelmon. Bloodloop, I've seen that on my timeline, but just interesting seeing what people are highlighting. Don't just go off these lists. Look into things and see if you're actually interested in them. Justin, Ripple acquires crypto trust company Standard Custody and Trust Co. to expand U.S. options. Now, I am not a Ripple expert. I think a lot of people don't pay attention to Ripple. I think the one thing that's interesting about Ripple is it seems that there's not a whole lot to it in terms of extra use cases apart from the cross-border payments that people always talk about. And then at the same time, they're saying, oh, that's not going to be a viable option, et cetera, et cetera. So from my understanding, it sounds like XRP and the whole Ripple thing is pivoting, and they're going to be going more towards like the metaverse and whatnot, while still trying to do what they did before. And one of the reasons why I've been highlighting Futureverse and what Fluff World's doing so much is because Ripple Inc. owns like 5 or 10% of Futureverse, and a lot of stuff is going to be pushed through the Root Network, because if you didn't know, Root Network runs on XRP as gas. So the idea is to kind of, I think, shift the focus from what's going on with their cross-border payments to join in on this metaverse hub and bring all that massive swash of liquidity through that. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm so bullish on that, because I think they have the structure and a lot of the things ready to set up. They just need that user base, and that's a way to get onboarded for that. But be paying attention here, because I think a lot of these big dogs, same with Cardano, people are paying attention. They're going to be giving up on things. I watched Bill Noble's stream yesterday, and he's like, Ripple needs to do something soon, or it's just going to be a cascading negativity because it's been way too quiet. And we'll see if that ends up happening. Now, if you don't know what these are one of the first airdrops from the other side. They had I think the second trip, and they had like a game that was a part of it between 4 captains. It was really weird. It wasn't great. I mean, it was fine, but like you had to have your like team captain's voice on the entire time. They were screaming, swearing. Some of them didn't end up doing anything. It was, I don't know. But the idea is that the people that ended up winning that got this, and this was like the first airdrop for that. So people are now speculating this is going to be like the first item ever, like the RuneScape party hat per se. And so I guess people are starting to buy that one up. Correct. Ripple with the shake in the Web3 space. Soonie, like Sinoe. All right, this is sold for 279 ETH, $740,000. Third Ether Rock sale in the last 24 hours. Other went for 200 ETH and 180. Truly breathtaking art. So I have to ask you, I genuinely have to ask you guys, and I would love for somebody to give me some thoughts in the chat here, Sinoe Huddle. Dan, if you're still kicking around, Trader Pops, etc. Do you think this is all fake trades ahead of the Sotheby's auction for Ether Rocks? Because all of a sudden, we're having these NFTs fly for literally no reason that I'm aware of, except for the fact that we know that the big Sotheby's auction is happening. Now, going back to the history of Sotheby's, we've seen big lots of Bored Apes that apparently FTX literally bought. There's an entire breakdown, and I might have done a video on it when talking about SBF. It fades my memory a little bit, but they were like FTX legitimately bought that like 100 ape auction from Sotheby's. There was the Gary V Friends hand art that was a part of that. I want to say there was something with Pudgy's not that long ago, because they did like the dress shirt setup for this, and then recently this. And of course, if you don't know the headline, again, they just basically said that we're going to be selling Ether Rocks at Sotheby's. Yo, what's going on? Yo, Jeremy. Yo, Chris, what's going on? Are you minting Goblin on Say This? It's I thought it was on the, is that today? I thought that was a few days away. I'm a fish, Chris. Holy sheesh. Is it actually today? Don't tell me that. Yo, Philip's gonna kill me. No way, dude. Okay, so Tarzan, you think it's fake 100%? You do, that's wild. I mean, I don't get it, right? Like, we're having all the way up to $740,000. Is it like, does it matter where, and this is the other component of it, right? Is it's not just these sales are happening. It's then for you people that aren't, kind of aware, and you're thinking maybe you're in that price range or hearing the Sotheby's thing, and you're like, damn, all these rocks are flying, right? Because a lot of people don't critical think, right? They don't. You wake up, you have your breakfast, you have your brew, you're chilling. And this is potentially going to create FOMO for some of these top-end collectors. Potentially not. I don't know. You're watching on Twitch and YouTube, this guy's going on a triple double bang. Or any word on the Frame airdrop? No, I haven't seen any news on Frame. For anyone that doesn't know, Frame is like, they offered like an airdrop for a bunch of people, and then they like reopened it up after saying that the claim was going to be at a certain time, and then they didn't. Yo, you people, I'm sorry. Yo, Jeremy, Trader Pop, Sinaway, Tarzan, Chris Toddle, Dan. I mean, listen, you're right. Like, I got to use your actual names now. You guys are talking to me in the chat. Man, went live 8 minutes ago, and I'm gonna fight Philip. I thought it was a few days away. I'm gonna fight Philip, Chris. Holy smokes. Okay, so Actually, I'll look into that after we're done the stream here, though, and I'll see if I can get in for it. So this is coming from Derek. I've done 100 plus hiring interviews to hire full-time Web3 candidates. If you're looking for jobs in Web3, let's find out what some of these learnings are. Most applicants are high on Web3 passion, but relatively lower on experience and capability. This makes sense since a lot of experienced folk don't want to work in Web3. Sourcing is usually far better than inbound leads. The best people aren't looking for jobs because they're happy and busy. Very few candidates are both Web3 native and good at the function. It's a small Venn diagram. Venn diagram. That reminds me of like elementary school. Holy sheesh. Add in the niche topic of economy design, security, and you have a very hard time hiring. Training is often required in one area or the other. Leveling up a new hire on Web3 is probably easier than leveling up their core skills and abilities. However, education only gets you 50% of the way. It's really hard to get Web3 without spending personal time and money on it, in my opinion. The space changes too quickly. This is fine for some roles, but really bad for others. Twitter and content is a good resume for some roles. Nothing gives you more clarity on how someone thinks and problem solves than seeing it in action. So this is interesting because he's highlighting the fact of like you go to their Twitter. And so earlier we had that person that was like, I got hired by Yuga Labs. LOL joke. It was a copy pasta. And so imagine you're the hiring manager and you go to their Twitter feed to try to see like, you need to have good takes to do this. And then they're lying about getting the damn job. That's crazy. A lot of people in Web3 don't or need a full-time job. Often it's personal growth and a mission that drives them to work full-time because there are so many other opportunities to make money in the space. Throw in things like culture, fit, time zones, and hiring standards, and it's genuinely quite challenging. So I'm not going to go through all the rest of that, but it's interesting that apparently it is actually hard to hire in Web3. Okay, we're going to need you crypto stands to stand up, please. We're starting the national anthem. Oh, Peter Schiff. This guy's coming in hot with another crazy take. It looks like another classic pump and dump going on with Bitcoin and the exchange ETF. The 4-day conference kicked off on Super Bowl Sunday and ends on Valentine's Day. There's a lot of hype surrounding the newly listed Bitcoin ETFs. I wonder when the massacre will begin. Does Blood even realize that it was like straight down immediately after the Bitcoin ETF announcements? It was like a long time of a whole lot of nothing. And then suddenly we're mooning and he's saying that this, and then he's saying that there's a lot of hype. I mean, I mean, the hype should have happened the day of, not after, right? Right? Guy's crazy. Coming home Genesis collection. Yo, shout out JVB. I saw this in the Schillerverse Discord yesterday when he posted about it. This exclusive pack contains 20 guaranteed rare or legendary digital collectibles featuring new music and artwork. This limited edition Genesis pack from Usher is exclusive to the Tune Go community. So apparently this is on Dapper. There's, you know, some discussions about music overall within Web3. I feel like this one's not really brought up at all. I got like 37 mutual followers. Collect music, connect with artists, unlock rewards. I guess they have something with Usher. Is this something that is going to do amazing, great, good? I have absolutely no idea, but there's your fun little tidbit that you probably didn't know regarding a Web3 music platform. So Bankless, they want to yell at Gary Gensler. They want to yell at Gary Gensler again. Let's see why. And it's all about geo-blocking, or in this case, geo-fenced. EtherFi is a leading liquidity staking and restaking protocol abruptly blocked anyone in the US from accessing its platform late last week. And this is at the same time that this I thought it had much more followers, but there was some kind of staking platform for ETH that had like $1 billion total volume locked. That just hit it or something. I don't know if it was this one, maybe it was a different. But anyway, users discovered the geo-block the hard way, losing access to their points and potential EL rewards. The ripple effect. This isn't an isolated incident. Another LRT, Puffer Finance, faces similar geo-blocking in the US, and the recent alt-layer airdrop was off limits to US participants. Don't forget Celestia's Genesis drop from a few months ago either. Who's next? Digging through the terms of service, you can see that some of the other projects use the same language as EtherFi, suggesting potential further crackdowns. Pulling out. In case of this, some have already withdrawn their ETH before they're also hit by access restrictions to their tokens and points. Rock beats paper and GeoFence beats point. So I mean, this is so again, the big scary thing within crypto is on and off ramps being taken away and then geo blocking. I mean, I don't know which one you want to put first. I would assume on and off ramping, but that's kind of crazy. And when they're saying the verbiage and the terminology used, is that something to hint at? You know, they're saying on their site that there's a potential return for money, or is it just the fact that it involves crypto? When are these notions going to change? Are they going to? Obviously, we're in an election year. How fast do things change? Why haven't we seen more crypto discussion in the political world right now? I don't know. I feel like at the start of the year, it was this big, powerful thing that everybody was saying this is going to be a huge topic. And I feel like it's really taken a nosedive and not been the focus anymore. VPN, Sinaway, true. I think they're getting a little bit better on some of the VPNs, but we will see. Okay, our daily brought up of Gala here. Apparently, they just burned $100,000 of Gala, and then he quote tweeted it saying they did it again. We'll do a quick little gander here to see what Gala has done off this big burn. It's up 1.53%. Okay. Listen, a little bit of a dip this morning, but okay. I guess, again, they burned something supply down a little bit more from that. Okay, so I want to talk about how you guys respond to things on Twitter here. This one coming in from Maddie, DCL blogger. And so it says, we're up 1.2K. I went token shopping on the weekend, just some light entries to get my feet wet. Part of the $100K to $1 million challenge. And so they highlighted some different tokens in here, and you'll look, okay, so Doge, Ape, IMX, Sand, Axes, GOG, which is Gold Guardians, Blur, Big Time, Render, Gala, Sushi, Meme Coin, yada, 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 yada. Okay? And so the reason why I'm highlighting this is because he's somebody that I think like actually does a genuine amount of things. He used to run a show whenever he starts it up again. Highly recommend watching. However, he made a post the other day of asking people like, what should they get into? And of course, 605 comments about that. And, you know, I think there was a genuine intention behind it. However, I am seeing everyone comment their bags on every person who's like an influencer that's everything that says, what's the best NFT? What's the best crypto? It's just engagement farming you. I know the thought in your head is like, man, somebody's going to read this comment and be great. But think of how the ridiculous flush of other people doing that same thing. Unless you get a whole bunch of traction on it, you'll have other people that maybe like it and whatnot. But realize a lot of these things you're just getting engagement farm, baby. You're giving them that X paycheck, baby. Hell yeah, bro. Schiller, I came in into unexpected OP tokens. HODL, not financial advice. So optimism is a part of the ApeCoin or potential ape chain. So if that ends up happening, that would be an interesting catalyst if people ends up getting into it. I would also argue at the same time that it's a little tricky because we've seen, at least on the NFT realm, where a collection partners and who's the beneficiary for it. So as an example, Futureverse, we'll call it Fluff World, partnered with Cool Cats. I think we saw the team of Futureverse buy Cool Cats. We saw a whole bunch of Futureverse community members go and buy Cool Cats. I don't think we saw like a single person go and buy a Fluff except for Cloncast, to be honest. And he got like a nice one, if I remember correctly. But it's something where, you know, we have these narratives in our head of, you know, for that optimism thing. Oh, well, if ApeChain goes on optimism, that's going to rocket the price. And does it? Do you have people that have optimism that go and buy ApeCoin? Do you have people from the ape community that go and buy optimism? It all kind of depends. I don't know if there's going to be more like I don't know. That's a horrible answer. I know, but I have to admit I don't know. I haven't really followed optimism a whole lot. I think that arguably when you look at the entire space, if everything goes, it's going to be a part of it. How much does it multiply? I have no idea. But if there's something that you actually want, this is the thing. Would you rather hold something else or would you rather hold optimism? If you know what that something else is, oh, there you go. That's your answer. Very nice. Okay. Unpopular-ish opinion. Blast is going to be ape is crazy and be an instant top 3 L2. If not, top 3. So 3,000 teams have registered for the Big Bang competition. Now final submissions have been opened. Winners will be promoted directly to 132,000 users and 1.6 billion TVL. The more and more we get in here, the more people that build in the space, the more people that build platforms, structures, etc. to do something. It's something to be paying attention to because, again, 1.6 billion in total value locked, 132,000 users. That's crazy. Yes.
Your child ate his cousin.
That's weird. That's weird. What the hell is this? That is the bird. Is that
Eating a piece of chicken.
Is that just not like the breaded part of it? Guys, we got a KFC extra crispy chicken. I have to like not recommend it because it's literally just like extra breading. That's literally all it is. Oh my goodness. Okay, checking out Crypto Slam here. We are seeing a Coda being the top sale of the day. Sold 2 hours ago for $200,000. Mad Lads over in the Solana ecosystem sold for $30,000. Going down here, sales in general. Apparently, Ethereum's down 4% for sales within that realm, but apparently the wash sales are up 21%. Wag me, baby. That's what we love to see. Jeez Louise. But apparently almost 10,000 people buying Ethereum NFTs daily, 4,000 over on Bitcoin, 12,000 plus on Solana. That could be interesting. Polygon apparently upwards at 15,000. Feel like nobody talks about Polygon anymore. Mythos 5K, Avalanche 1K, BNB Chain 3K, Flow 12 hundo. Then Immutable X down here at 1,000. See, this is the thing that confuses me is Immutable's got like these 200 games. They have all this wildness that's going on. Massive funding. They're supposed to do the thing with GameStop. Obviously, that didn't work, but they have some serious pull. And only 1,000 people are using it in a 24-hour period. That just seems like not great. Not great. Okay, I'm using Redline as the highlight here, but talking about Farcaster. I know, Jeremy's on Farcaster. I don't know how many of you other guys are on that in chat. So if you don't know what Farcaster is, it's like an app that creates other apps, and Warpcaster was this big thing people highlighted about the other day. You don't see it on your timeline anymore. Shocking. Kind of like the Friendtech situation. Everybody that posts on there is like the same people that just like spam post on X. So if you follow somebody and they don't post a lot on X, it doesn't change. Like they're not going to be posting more on Farcaster. The idea of growth and all this is kind of interesting. I see people post and say, hey, here's these things that you're able to mint. That's a part of it. There's some people that are, really up and interested in finding out the new tech and being a part of it, and they're pushing it, and that's kind of cool. But again, I paid the $5. I don't find it useful like at all. Not really connecting with anybody. Post some tweets. It's or not tweets, but on that app, it's just, I don't know. Farcaster, it was hyped up for a day, and I feel like it is not really there anymore. Okay. So the title of the stream is talking about the NFT apocalypse before the crypto market takes off. Now, with that said, if you're creating these NFT projects, you can make a bag. Here's some of the headlines. From Cube Farm to comics to digital artists, this artist has made $2.2 million at the first women-run NFT marketplace. Taproot Wizards Quantum Cats NFTs leap past technical glitches to amass 11.3 million in Bitcoin. And assuming the fact that Bitcoin goes up in value, wow, that's a hell of a lot more than 11.3 billion. But we're seeing these teams still making bank. Ethereum NFT volume approaches yearly high following gas price surge. This seems like it's a positive, good headline. And then when you kind of read into it a little bit more, it's weird. So NFT trading volumes have been at their highest level weekly since February 26th of 2023, according from a report from Crypto Slam. The increase in Ethereum NFT volume comes at the current number 3 NFT collection by market cap PUDGY Penguins. Comes as the current number 3 NFT collection by market cap PUDGY Penguins approaches the market cap of its competitor Yuga Labs Bored Ape Yacht Club collection. Yuga also owns CryptoPunks, the number 1 lowest priced collection. What? I mean, are they saying like in terms of like volume or PUDGY Penguin is an NFT that is a collection of 888 penguins. Oh, this is the problem because this is all wrong. They've forgotten 8. They're saying that CryptoPunks is the lowest price collection. This is journalism, people. This is journalism in 2024 about the thing that you care about, and this is the difference because you're here. You can understand things. You can highlight. Oh, they said cyberpunks. They said cyber. I deleted it. I don't know if I can go back in here. Did they mean? Okay, so it's a spelling error. So it's a spelling error. That's even worse. That's even worse. But anyway, going at the top charts here, Pandora, that crazy hype with the ERC 404 token on the 7-day change, up 163%. Whatever the hell these chameleon things are, up 150%, but they're at 1.7. Seed and Mint Pass, Froggy Friends, up 102%. Killer Bears, all these things. If you just look for floor price in general, these top things are probably kind of inaccurate here. They're kind of inaccurate, but if we go over to trending, what do we see? If we go up to 1 hour sales, Moonbird's Mythics, they're at 0.2. Yo, do you remember when Moonbird Mythics came out? What in the halibut is this? I mean, I think they look like okay, but I don't know what happened with them. I don't know what happened with them. Anywho, that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. As always, if you've enjoyed this, please smash that like button. And if you do have one friend that you know that is in the Web3 space and you think, hey, maybe they'd enjoy listening to Schiller, please fire them a link. Let them know. They can decide for themselves. We'll be back tomorrow as per usual. If you're joining a little bit late, don't forget to catch the VOD. It'll be up like pretty much immediately on here, but I want to thank, let's go through the list here, Sinoe, Tarzan, Chris, Yo Jeremy, Trader Pops, Hoddle, Mr. Dan, Dip Collector. I think I already said Sinoe a whole bunch of times, and the one and only Ray Stinger. Appreciate Mana for the sub. Sinoe, Ray Stinger, you guys as well. Appreciate you. Of course, we do have the YouTube memberships up. It's like $2.99 or something a month if you aren't interested in supporting the channel anymore. And Relic, yo, what a beauty from the Top Shot days.